Hello everyone. One of the best way to spur or to encourage discussion is to use debates, right? And in class or face-to-face scenario, we can always do this very easily. We can ask them to sit in groups and then start discussing on the topic that you've given them. But if in virtual environment, there's so many platforms that you can use, but it may not be suitable to show that kind of debating sides, pro and cons and all that. So I'm going to introduce you to Kialo, which is in Esperanto language, it means reason. So Kialo is a tool for you to have that kind of online debates with your students and allow your students to also collaborate in adding in your points and justification. So go to kialo.com, sign up first if you don't have one. If you have one, then just log in. You can log in using with Facebook, Google, or Twitter. I'm gonna go in with Google. Okay, sign in using your Google account, and then like in my case, you have my Kialo. Alright, so you have automatically when you go in, it will be a blank canvas, but I have one here already. But you have they also suggest some of the hot or trending debates going on, so you can browse through or let's create a new discussion. It can be private or public. Let's say we go for private first, because we're in the limit within our students class or groups, so we don't have to share with the rest of the world. If you put public, then anyone in the world can actually participate in the discussion or participate in the debate. So when you are creating a new discussion, it will ask you whether you want a single thesis or multiple theses. Single thesis means it's like pro and cons, the earth is round kind of thing. Multiple theses will be like very open-ended a bit, and they can come up with their own thesis and then start to debate about it. Like this one, what shapes does the earth have? Some can say it's round, it's a disc, it's a cubicle, and then they start to debate, right? But I'm going to go for single thesis because this is a straightforward one, the pro and con, yes or no kind of thing. So go next, and then give your thesis like, should all students be allowed to go home during lockdown? Okay, for example, so just give a bit of description. So government sending students back home, do you think it is good? Something like that, and then you can add link. Add link here means you can add to some additional resources that you want them to read, maybe an article, or link to an article, link to anything, right? Because sometimes it's good to direct them to certain reading materials before they respond. Like you want them to look into certain theory, for example, or certain model that you want them to follow. Okay, but if you don't want them to keep it open, give a tag if you want to. Let's say you can tag according to your class. Let's say I'm going to tag my class code, alright, and then choose the language. Of course, it's English. If you have image, you can upload the image because it will appear on the on the cover or on the header. If not, then just leave it blank, complete. Okay, now you can invite friends. In this case, you're going to invite your students. So because it's private now, because I set it as private, so you have to add the students in. So there are two ways of using this Kialo. One is you set the stage, and then you ask students to come in, or you ask students to create their own Kialo. They can add their friends into their group and start discussing and do their whatever discussion they want, debate, and go on, and then send that link of their Kialo to you, and then you do the checking or evaluation if you want to. So this is pretty neat. This is how it looks like. So the image should appear here if you have an image, but once they're here, they can just click pros, right? They can say it is good because blah 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 blah. They can add their support if they want to. So this is pro, and then somebody come in and then say, no, it is going to make things worse, for example. So they can go on and add, and then if another student come in and the student agrees with this one, they can just respond to this by adding more justification. This is quite nice actually because it becomes threaded. Like this one, let's say I come in as a student and then I agree with this, so I'm going to click this one and I will add one more. You know what I mean? So you go on and on and on. So a pretty nice tool to have if you want to encourage a very systematic way of discussion. And you can see this tree up here showing you how the discussion is going. All right, so now I have two sides. So click share if you want to invite your students again. Just invite via email, or you can enable invite link. If you enable here, so anyone with the link will be able to access. So you just give them this one and then they come in. So you can decide whether they come in as a writer, viewer, or editor. In your case, a student, they have to be writer so that they can publish, but they cannot edit other people's work, right? If you have students who are working as your kind of like moderator, then you can give them the role of editor so that they can edit if necessary. Okay. It also comes with a short chat here. It means apart from doing the discussion here, they can also chat within them, and they can mention certain names. Let's say if I mention myself, then I can say hello there. All right, you can have some form of discussion going on at the side as well. All right. The notification will tell you all the things happening, and I like the fact that like this one, it shows who actually did something, so it's tracking the activities going on, which is good, because sometimes like this, I'm doing it alone, right, and I can see who did it, right? So it's good to have this kind of monitoring. If you would like to embed this into your learning management system, just click embed discussion here, and then just copy the code and put it in your LMS, so that the student would not have to leave the LMS. They can just still go doing, just go on to the same discussion without leaving the learning management system. Okay. All right, that's Kialo. Pretty nice tool, I would say. Try it out and then see whether it spurs, your students to debate better, to discuss better, especially during this time where they cannot meet face to face. Right, so happy trying, and then let me know if you have any comments or suggestion in the comments box down there. Thank you very much for listening and watching.